basement and hanging out, getting high, jamming this jam that was like a 45-minute orgasm. And I remember going to these guys' basement that I didn't know. A friend of mine hooked me up, and we start jamming. I closed my eyes. Played for like 45 minutes. I opened my eyes, and there was all these people in the basement. All their friends that come in, and it was fucking a magical. Just a thing, you know. So that band, we played a lot of gigs too, and eventually those guys did TR3 gigs too. Johnny, the drummer, played TR3 gigs. Houston played TR3 gigs. So, and then the other TR3 had a whole different trajectory as well. Almost went into like a bigger band by the end of the 80s, where it was like keyboards, percussion, and those guys. And then
started doing this.
I just did a lot of different gigs. And solo acoustic, I played with this band, Secret's a fusion band. And then I kind of, after doing a lot of traveling for a while, I said, okay, I want to just go live in Charlottesville and chill out. And so I went back to doing Tier 3, and then it kind of became more like a 4-piece, and then my interest just kind of got into different phases. I started listening to Minus Nails. Because for many years I just was kind of stuck in the 70s mode or the 80s mode. And then finally I just kind of broke into like all this new stuff appealed to me. I kind of let go of it. And so I got into all this different music. And then so Tier 3 kind of started to change from what it was to, I started playing with Johnny and Houston more. We got a little more harder edged, as it were. I would say hard rock, but you know, forays into like kind of like metal. But I don't want to like pretend that I was metal at all. So I really liked metal. And I like to use the influence a lot, but you know, like a lot of metal bands don't appeal to me, but there's certain ones that I love as much as I love anything, like the Deftones, Sugar, Tool. You know, there's a lot of
love Tool,
Mastodon, Lamb of God. There's so many great metal bands, but the ones that I like are usually kind of more of a hybrid of things, you know.
I used to love the Perfect Circle, and obviously they're
I
just
love
now.
Perfect Circle.
Loved
I
it.
saw their first tour. It was great.
It was like you said, it was a hybrid almost. Like
Yeah.
I loved Perfect Circle. I love her reactions too, by the way. I asked these questions. It's great.
Was that the stage when you'd notoriously come out in gas mask or something like that, just to freak the audience out?
Out of whatever mode, and I played in diapers in Charlottesville.
Awesome.
They were expecting some kind of nice acoustic,
Yeah,
friendly,
it's hilarious.
Great.
you know,
They're expecting him to play like Crash or something like that. And he comes,
It was
really
definitely
freaking loud.
anti.
And so then I moved to Santa Fe, and because of the distance from Charlottesville, I kind of wound up started doing just solo acoustic gigs and traveled around, and I did that for like 7 years. And then we moved to Outer Banks, and that's when I met Dan and Nick. And really, I kind of phased out of having a band. I was just like, I just liked the idea of not having to gather a posse to go do gigs and just kind of hone it down. And I was really kind of exploring the acoustic solo mode and playing with effects, you know, not like really becoming a looper. There's a lot of loopy people out there now that are really good at it, and I just use it more experimentally. And to me, the final phase of that was with drum machines and programming and playing electric with the drum machines, and then I did that for a while, and then kind of at the same time I was doing a lot of acoustic gigs. So and I moved to Outer Banks, and I started playing with Nick and Dan. And with Diane, who's the mother of my daughter and son, it was kind of her that, you know, she knew that there was all these musicians in town and everything was really close together. And she had heard about Dan, the drummer, and I went and saw him at a gig and sat in with the band. It was this guy, Carl, and somebody recommended Mick as a bass player, and so we had a gig set up, and they came to my house and we just rehearsed verbally. Like, okay, we're gonna do this, here's this lick, you know, really kind of a very loose